droids are often very dumb in Star Wars. And of course, there's a certain charm to something like R2-D2 and C-3PO. But anytime we're actually dealing with battle droids and things like that, they should be performing so much better. And here again, we have the assassin droids that show up that are inept, which takes something away from Ahsoka when she's about to fight them, because it's not like they're competent foes. And then for some reason, they've got like nuclear level destruct mechanisms on them.
Well, if you're programming a device, like, okay, this is an assassin droid. I'm imagining programming them with the highest levels of humanoid martial arts, assassination techniques, and then I would equip them with things, tools, weapons that would be the most effective. Poison darts, lasers, knives, they would be painted black so that they could, or possibly have a special armor that could be invisible or camouflaged. I would design it for assassination. And if I was going to put, and I probably would, a self-destruct in there, it would be instantaneous. The second that the droid's power was out, this thing would trigger the immediate explosion for self-destruct just to take the guy out. Even Mandalorian, didn't that thing have a self-destruct that took out himself and all these other? Didn't the IG droid blow himself up? So the whole point is you're taking them with you, right? Just like Gorman and Vasquez and Aliens. We're going, but we're taking everyone around us with them. These droids come up with a new strategy. Announce the self-destruct, get into a pose, and then wait about 40 seconds. Exactly.
And it's an unbelievably large blast.
Oh my
what
God!
Are these guys carrying that does that? And if they needed the map, they were going to have it after that. If she didn't get away, and they do, like the droid that walks up and in that very deep voice, give us the map. And nobody just shoots Ahsoka from behind. But that was another one of those situations where it seemed like that was trying to convey the gravitas of we're going to have this droid slowly walk up and in a Kylo Ren kind of voice, talk about, give me that map.
Well, why don't they have guns or lasers? I mean, the worst thing you could try to do if you're a droid is to engage a Jedi in close quarters combat. Like, for example, in Revenge of the Sith, they had those droids on Grievous's ship that had those purple beams on the tips. That made sense on some level. A, they could fight against lightsabers. They were lightsaber capable. And two, they're bodyguards. So they're expecting close quarter combat on a bridge to protect General Grievous. These are assassin droids. I don't know about you, but there's long distance sniping. There's booby traps. There's poisons. Assassins have a lot. These numbnuts come out with a staff and attack a Jedi with zero defense to lightsabers, by the way. Right away, she goes, zoom, and it's like cuts them in half. I was like, strategy plan B, guys. Yeah, you don't have any defense against lightsabers. Don't attack her up close. Like, I hate when such obvious problems exist in these things. It's crazy. That
is all the kind of stuff that I thought about before getting obsessed with story structure. But like when I was dissecting movies, it would be stuff like this, and the plot here is just not working.
Well, these are clues that the person behind the storytelling doesn't know what they're doing. They don't understand. They don't seem to understand the basic concepts of combat. Well, they don't understand military. They don't understand assassination. They don't understand lightsabers. We haven't even got into that.
Well, but on the subject of the droids, it also seems to me that if you have these assassin droids, you would not program it with persistent memory of where it came from.
Too, you'd have no. Well, dude, even when you buy it, like even in like the real world, when you're writing a story, let's say you want to write a spy thriller, guns have serial numbers that are rubbed out. Even basic criminals, when they sell handguns, get rid of those serial numbers, and anything that can mark it or make it distinctive. And we're talking like basic 101 criminal level knows how to mask the trail of a gun. People, can't they do VIN numbers if you steal a car?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is not complex So
you wouldn't be able to sell many of these assassin droids because they're like, that's not.
Honestly, I wouldn't trust one of these droids to guard my house.
And there was one just hanging. Well, was it one hanging around Sabine's apartment for some reason?
Oh, yeah.
That was for no reason, it seemed.
And by the way, the Star Wars universe in the Clone Wars invented assassin droids. They're like commando-looking droids. They're actually much more effective. They're very cool and nimble and acrobatic. Very good. They were fun droids. They were like they were invented by the Separatists, and they were another level of combat droid that the Separatists made that came out in the Clone Wars. And they were used several times, and they were very, very worthy opponents. And they're quick. These droids literally were like you're designed for nothing. You're not even useful in a salt mine. You'd be too slow, like even in manual labor circumstances. Yeah, I don't know what those droids were.
Well, did you want to talk about the lightsaber issue then?
Yeah, James Bacon knows what I'm talking about. Right? The commando battle droids, the thin ones with the round heads, they were real nimble and acrobatic. They were real good. Oh, yeah, it's his favorite type of battle droid. That's what I'm saying. Like, we already have a droid that can do this, and they were awesome in the Clone Wars. So to reinvent this droid and to downgrade it to the point of utter inefficiency, just I mean, you just know that this is not a show in the hands of people who know what they're doing.
But Sable says, I only saw a tiny bit of Ahsoka, but what I saw was bad, and this stream has validated my decision not to waste time trying to watch it.
I hate saying it. And by the way, I'll just say this. It could get better. The Clone Wars did not start with a bang. It started with a thud, and it slowly gathered steam. Now, this show does not have the endless time to find its feet that the Clone Wars had. People had an appetite for Star Wars in 2008, 9, and 10. It was under George Lucas's tutelage, not Kathleen Kennedy's. It was aired on a Cartoon Network. It had a lot of patience from the fandom, good word of mouth. This has none of that. So they just don't have a lot of time if they're going to save it. Thrawn could save it. But based on the kind of problems that Heath and I are talking about, I doubt it, unfortunately. Sorry, I was reading Japard's.
Recitation?
Yeah.
Recitation. First, weapon selection is critical. If I see one more idiot attacking a Jedi with a blaster pistol, then I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, there's no sense. I think I've said this on the show. Like sometimes when I analyze the problems of these scenes, when there's no sense of tactics. Like if you're an assassin droid, I think how you're going to assassinate the target becomes your first priority. And in order to do that, you need a profile of the target. And then an analysis of what is the best way to kill this, to assassinate this target. And walking up on it with a stick, essentially, it was the last choice.
And then you, as a storyteller, have to figure out, okay, this would be a really bad situation for Ahsoka to be in, or whatever character is it's going to be in.
Right.
And I'm not going to downplay that. I've got to come up with some way to get them out of that. The bad way to do that is to make the bad guys dumb, which is kind of the situation. But in order to say, now, how can this Jedi overcome this, or your main character overcome this? That's your job to figure out. Well,
make her face that Balon and have him almost beat her and have her barely escape and be like, damn. Remember in even Phantom Menace, when Qui-Gon, who's a great character in the Phantom Menace, fights Darth Maul, who's also a great character in the Phantom Menace. For all its flaws, Qui-Gon and Darth Maul were awesome. Those two have a battle. Qui-Gon barely escapes. He's out of breath, and he's like, I don't know who he was, but he was really well trained in the Force. That said to us, this guy's dangerous. Darth Maul's dangerous. This show's like, let's put her up against wooden droids, basically. Wooden droids. I don't know. I'm probably belaboring the point. I can't believe that this is what they came up with for Ahsoka Tano.